taste and see that the Lord is good. He's not evil, He's not bad, He's only good. He's good and good only. The more we saw of that, the greater become the hook in our hearts. This is the way we want to follow. So at some point, we had a prayer group. One of the girls in the prayer group, she had been to Youth with a Mission, like a discipleship course in Sweden. And we saw that something had happened to her. So we thought maybe we should go. Then me and my wife. So we asked, could you, from our works, my wife was the teacher. Also, actually, my mother was a teacher, but my wife was a teacher. And they had a very good job in the authorities, environmental authorities in Finland. So please let us go for half a year and we come back. That happened. We went to Youth with a Mission in Sweden, also went to mission trips and just focused on the gospel. It was good friends, good community, good fellowship, very mission-minded teaching. So we thought maybe after some time we will go out in the world just somewhere as missionaries. We were prepared for that. Well, we came back home to Finland after this half year in Sweden. But things just went on, and just a little bit over 1 year. Then my wife Monika is listening to a teaching tape when she is vacuum cleaning. And the tape was about that it's your will that decides your future. And many times we think it's God's will that decides our future. That's also true. But your will, my will, your will, also need to be involved. So my wife was thinking, if I could do what I want to do, if I could do what I will do, what I want to do, I would go to Sweden back to a Bible school, to another Bible school, to be prepared for the future. So she was doing that. I came home from lunch from my job, and then she looks at me and tells me, what about? We would just quit everything here, go to Sweden, go to Bible school, at least for 1 year, maybe 2 years, and then we see what's happened. So what do I do? Then, like the husband, I was thinking, well, we have responsibilities, we have things to do here, we cannot go like that, we don't have any savings, we don't have a place to live. What do we do? So I call another preacher and say, this is the situation. How do you think God will lead us now? Well, he said very wisely, just pray. I don't going to give you an answer. You pray, you make the decision. And we prayed for 1 day, 2 days, and then we were both convinced this is what we want to do now. So my wife goes to her boss and says, I want to quit. I want to go to Sweden now, and you have to get another teacher here. And I go to my boss and say, could you give me free also for a year, and then I can come back. Well, in my job, they said, if you want to go, you will probably not, be able to come back. And that was the decision. If you go, you leave, that's it. Then you don't have no right to come back. I said, okay, I see, understand. Also, my wife, she had an option. They were not that tough, but it was a little bit like either way. So what do? We have no money. We have just a little savings. We have no place to live. We have only a calling, only a heart. Like, this is what we want to do. So what do? Well, you have to take a step. We took steps. You have to take your steps. So things will not just happen automatically because it's God's will. Yes, He will be there. He will open the doors. He will make the way. But we, you and I, we have to take the steps. So I go over to Sweden, first just myself to see, like, is there any apartment we can have or things, find a place to live and so on. We were then accepted to the Bible school, so that was not a problem. And I put up on some advertisement, a text in the newspaper, that I'm seeking an apartment. Well, I get a phone call early that morning. The paper went out, and the lady calls me and said, well, I have an apartment. You can come and check. Can you come in the afternoon? I said, no, in the afternoon I'm going back to Finland. Can I come at once, like 7 a.m? Okay, just come. So I went there, and it showed out that the apartment was just by the Bible school. And she was selling the apartment. And remember, we had no money. But what happened was, I said, well, do you have anybody wanted to buy it? Right? Yes, I have somebody giving this and this offer. And I said, well, I think I can give more. Can you wait now with the other one so we can see that I can arrange the money? And she said, yes, but that's okay. I went back to Finland, but it was hard to get a loan from the bank from those times. And we had one person that would, guarantee a loan for us, but we needed two. Well, what happened was that I get a phone call, and the person calls me and says, if you are seeking an apartment now when you're going to the Bible school and you want to buy it and you need somebody to give a guarantee for a bank loan, I will do it. We had not asked anybody. That's the only time in my life I have got such a phone call. So what happened? It was a little bit hard to get the loan because of different reasons in the banking world at that time. But the day we had to leave leave from Finland, I go to the bank with the wife, with the two persons who get guarantee for the loan. We unpacked the car, and when we got the loan, we went into the car with our things, going to Sweden. So we felt a little bit like, oh, this was tight, but God was there. Well, we come to Sweden, we start the Bible school, everything is fine, we have small savings, but that's all. We are seeking jobs, but we are Swedish-speaking Finns, so the language was no problem. We had good education, that was no problem. Still no jobs. But what do? You don't give up. During this time, when we had the small savings, the savings went down unto nothing. And maybe you have sometimes experienced the same. You have a little, you hope to get a job, you hope to get something more, but that little is getting less and less and less, and then you have nothing. Well, that's the very, very interesting time. So that was, I remember once I just went out walking in the city, and there comes a guy saying hello. He was another Bible school student. And he asked, how are things going? And I didn't beg anything from him. I said, it's okay. Maybe he picked up that everything was not okay. So then he takes up some cash, give that to me, and says, be blessed, now it's even more okay. And I said, thank you. I go to the shop and come home with 2 big bags of groceries to my wife, and she was, what happened? Well, this happened, and it's kind of a reminder that also in the tough situations in life, God knows that. So we had many of these happenings. We felt like God is late, but it was never too late. And then after some weeks, I got a job to just hand out papers, like Sunday morning, 3 at night, in the cold, and I did that. In a way, I just had to humble myself. I remember how I was thinking, well, I'm a civil engineer, I should be well paid. Why do I have to do this? But on the other hand, I would say, thank you, God, you care. If this is what I need to do now, I'm fine with that. And a little bit after that, I'd be seeking a job from another, it was a consulting company, just a good job. And then one Friday afternoon, I get a call from them and say, you send us an application, we are interested to hire you. Could you come for an interview next week? Yeah, I can do that. But then I gave them another call just a few minutes later and then asked, is it possible to come just now, right ahead? And okay, just come. So I went there, had just a few minutes talk with them, and they just said, just welcome. We can arrange, you can be in the Bible school, you can do your hours other times. And that was such a blessing. So many good memories from that time. But it was at the age. And then I remember, well, they asked me my bank account, and I got the money like ahead so we could go to Finland and we could buy some Christmas presents and so on. And that is how we learned to trust Him also in these situations. And even if there were struggles once in a while, now we are very, very happy to go through the struggles. And we can see that God worked this way every single time. And I know there's many out there, different nation. Maybe you are from Pakistan or from African nation, or be out in the countryside, and maybe they're not very high standard of living, or life can be tough. I know that. But God is above that. Even if you come from a village with kind of not that big opportunities, God is still there. He still has a way. There may be steps you have to take, but God is there to bless those steps. Maybe you don't have a car, but maybe it's okay to have a bicycle. Maybe you don't need a big house or a big castle, but you need a place to sleep. You need to have a home. So it's not necessary people with the castles who are the happy people. It's maybe those who have a little place, but they have peace in their home. They have Jesus in their midst. They have a peace in their heart. And they have a hope for future. So what I'm sharing here is that the same hope for future is for everybody. It's not just for preachers or people in the West or people in America or Europe or in rich nations. No, God is a God all over the world. So that's our story, my story with the Bible school. Then we went on from the Bible school, we went home to Finland, back Finland again. We started a church, hoped to get a very fast growing church with much people and a lot of things happening, and a big mission and all these things. But it didn't go that way. There was, how should I say, before I can handle the big blessing, or I want to be a big blessing or huge blessing for many people, I need to learn to be a little blessing for one person at a time. I mean, Jesus was like that. He was not just seeking the huge masses. He was noticing, and he saw a single person, or maybe two or a few. They were as important for him as the big gatherings we can see he had in the Bible. So this is life. It's not that like winning on lottery that you get a huge sum at a time and your life is just changed. That is not reality. It's little by little by little by little. And when you then look back, you see that something is happening or has happened. It's like climbing a mountain. You take one step, you take 2 steps, you take 3 steps, you get 10 steps. You think it's hard. You're just climbing, you're just doing. And you maybe go 100 meters, 200 meters. Okay, you have gone 200 meters, then turn around and look down. You're much higher. That's the way life is. Then you take the steps again, and then you go forward. But when you go forward, you're also climbing. And then you look back, well, I see something has happened. I'm much higher now. And sometimes we wish things would just happen faster, sooner, and it would be more and greater and huge and so on. Well, now I know as a pastor, what it is also to struggle when the church is small and not much things happening and not much finances and so on. I can relate. If you struggle and you don't have the cash or the money or the things you want, I can relate. If that sometimes maybe people that come don't understand you, don't think you are doing the really right things, and maybe even don't think you believe in the right things or the right theology, I can relate to that. So we are all the same, and God knows this. And when I now look back, I'm so happy, I'm so thankful that me, my wife Monika, we didn't stop. We didn't give up at the hard places. We just went on. And that is my encouragement to everybody listening to this podcast. What do we do here in Vasa City Church now? We encourage you just to go on, because God is the same. He's not different in Vasa, Finland, that He is just where you live. So that might take time to understand how God has been working, but many times during the tough times, what He's actually doing is preparing us for something else. It's not about the thing just then that the church might be small and you don't have the finances, or maybe struggle with relationships or whatever could be there in your way. He sees further. And at your place where you are right now in your life, God sees further. So this is what life has been. And we think from that life when the church was small and it started, much of my time has gone to the church, yes, like all the Sunday services, Bible schools, prayer groups, morning prayers, outreaches, mission work, children camps. Many things has happened. And during or through all these things, we always learn a lot. Sometimes things goes better. Sometimes we think, well, was it worth it? But then we learn something. But that's life. So, but that's not the whole life. Then we have a family life, or if you are married or you have other people around you, you maybe have still a fellowship, you have friends. That's also a part of life. God wants to see you blessed there. Then I also have had this work as a civil engineer, like a teaching in the University of Applied Science and Sciences quite a lot. So there I live with my colleagues and my students and the other staff. I meet people daily in their life situations. So for me as a pastor, I'm not kind of outside the society in my own little world. I'm just there where people are. And I think Jesus was like that. He is like that. He's so interested in normal people. And then we have the outreaching part. So we've seen God doing all these miracles in especially Indonesia. I've been 14 times there. We've been to Thailand, India, Uganda, Rwanda, Tanzania, Kenya, Nigeria, Europe nations, Russia, and so on. And it's been a huge blessing or privilege to see that the power is still in the gospel. What we have to do is to check that we are preaching the good news, the gospel, that we don't change this into speculations about the future, or we don't change this into a political message, or change into anything else. So that we let the gospel be the good news. And that's my, if I say, commitment to share the good news to everyone that just has a heart to listen. And that's all I ask for you, a little time to listen. And I believe that God has put something into this church that can change or be a blessing, be a channel for many. We have seen Jesus work in this way so many years. He will still do it. We don't want to be somewhere up here and preaching down on people. We don't want to think that we are kind of special or in that way, how to say it, different than others. We are all the same way, depending on the goodness and grace of God. And that goodness and grace is the same. When we learn to know God, we see His grace, we see His mercy, and that's what we share. The podcast will pretty much be about what I'm shared here now, but in different ways. But still, that what we are sharing could be that channel that God can touch your heart through His love, through His goodness, through His mercy, through His word, through His Spirit. So we don't want to have a podcast that people just scroll and you listen half a minute or have some kind of entertainment. No, that's not our heart, and I don't think that's your heart. We want you to calm down, sit down, listen, you see, and be shaped. That's my heart. That's Pastor Tom. Thank you.